Hi, welcome back to Ben's Machines. Today we got a new build. It's a John Deere D170 riding mower or riding tractor. This is a unit that I just picked up recently, and I just brought it into the shop there now. Haven't really had a chance to look at it. All I know is the previous owner said it didn't work. So we're gonna start looking at this, figuring out what's wrong and how to fix it. So it's a John Deere lawn tractor, hydrostatic. So, you know, the forward pedal, reverse pedal here. It's nice because it's a 54-inch cut, so a large cutting deck, which will come in really handy for our property. Tricycler. So previous owner told me that it has a mulching kit installed on it. So rather than, you know, discharging all the grass through the side of the deck, I guess it chops it up, and I guess that's good for nourishing the grass that's left behind. Maybe that makes the grass grow better. We got a lot of grass here on this property, so the idea is I'll get this one going and I'll use that one, and then I'll put my son and he'll use that one. So hopefully together we will cut down on our grass cutting time. So if we move around, it's got a tractor seat. Here's the fuel fill tank right here. Oh, there's actually gasoline in it. So that's the gas fill. Moving around this side, here's the cutting height. So 4-inch or 1 to 4. Parking brake, throttle control, PTO, you know, standard stuff. So let's open it up and see what we're dealing with the engine. So what we're dealing with here looks to be, it's a Briggs & Stratton twin cylinder 26 horsepower motor. Okay. And here's I've removed the battery, and I'm trying to save the battery, so I have it on the battery charger. It hasn't run for a long time, but the battery would be situated right here. So first of all, like when I first got it, I tried to turn the motor over and it wouldn't turn over. And if you look around, like especially like over here, like look at this. The engine and the frame, or mostly the frame here, is just coated in oil and grass cuttings. So like this is what I mean right over here. See how it's just caked in this grass and oil. So it's possible, and even the deck too. The deck is just like coated with oil. So it's possible that maybe the crankshaft seal on the bottom of the engine let go, and all kinds of engine oil got thrown around. And then let's go have a look at the other side of the engine. So if you look down here, you know, you still got more of the same. You got this coating of grass and oil even around the valve cover, and then over here on the frame, this is a problem right here. There's a dent right here in the engine casing, and right over here there's a hole in the engine. Like, look at this. I can basically put a screwdriver inside the engine. This is a major problem. So the connecting rod probably let go, and this thing probably ran low on oil because all the oil ended up on the machine and not where it was supposed to be. And as a result, boom, you know, catastrophic failure. The connecting rod came through the side, and everything inside probably is like locked up. So I don't know what the condition of the piston is, or the crank, or even the heads. The only way to really know is to take this motor off. So that's what we're going to do in this video. It's a blown engine. Everything else on this tractor is good, so we have to start by removing this engine, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do next. So let's stop talking and let's get into it. So we'll start taking things apart so that we get this engine stripped off. So what I'm going to do first is just going to remove the hood. So I'll remove the hood so that it's out of the way. So I'm just going to disconnect the lights, and then now this thing should just be able to pop right off. We'll put this in an area where it won't get damaged. I don't know why I'm bending down, because the car is up high enough on the lift. The next thing I guess I'll do here is I'll just remove the wires. So right over here, you'll see there's a connector. Let's remove this connector. That's disconnected there now. And then I'll get I think a number 10, and I'll take that off. Nope. 11. Whoa, just about got away on me there. All right, so that's isolated. Over here, I see a wire right here. This is probably for the engine cutoff. So right here, there's the throttle control. We'll have to disconnect the fuel line, but also there's this black wire right here. So we need to remove that. So I'm just going to pull. There you go. So there you have it. That's disconnected. That will stay with the engine. This is free. Now let's have a look over here. So that, in order to take this off, you just lift up carefully on this little plastic retainer, and that comes off here like so. I'll get some pliers, take that off, and then what I got to do is get a Torx bit and then loosen this nut so I can take this cable off. Using a T25 screwdriver, I'll be able to loosen this machine screw here. Okay, so that gets freed up, just enough to get over the bracket, and then this is like a Z-bend. There you go, you just take that off. I'll deal with this a little bit later. And then I'll use a pair of pliers, and I'll just remove the clamp here. Move this clamp down. Just so I can free up this hose here. And then, again, I'll have to probably set this up like this with some wire. Actually, let me do that now, because I don't want to have gasoline dumping out everywhere. So I'll just grab a little quick tip. I use, copper wire here. Take some wire. And maybe even put this guy in it as well. Shove that in there so it's out of the way. Right? So fuel line's disconnected. My electrical connections are disconnected. The next thing I want to do is remove the deck, because I want to inspect the deck to make sure that the underside is clean and ready for the upcoming cutting season. So let's go ahead and remove the deck. Once the deck's off, we'll then jack up the tractor and remove the electric PTO. I'll start by, let's lower the deck down, and let's see what we're dealing with here in terms of adjustment here. Okay, so So I removed the drive belt off the PTO. I'll grab a pair of needle nose pliers and I'll remove that front bar. Okay, so we didn't press record, but anyway, all I did is I removed this front bar that connects to the front of the cutting deck right here, and it's just held in place to the deck with this fitting right here, or this spring clip. So we'll just keep all this stuff here together. I'll put that back in, and at the other end where it's connected to the frame, it's just like a conical sleeve right here, and all you have to do is just kind of like wiggle it through the hole on the chassis in order to take it off. So I took it off just so that it's not in the way when we go underneath there and we take off the nut to release or to remove the electronic PTO. All right, next thing we got to do is continue removing the deck. So I'm going to take, all you do is you just take these, you just pull that off there, and then I should be able to just pull, yeah, those arms down. So we'll put that in a baggie, and then the same over here. I guess all you got to do is do the same. Take a pair of needle nose, pull off the clip, save the washer, and then I think this should just, maybe with a little bit of upward force, just move that down like that. Okay, so that side's done. Let's go do the same thing on the opposite side. We'll do the same on this side. We'll pull that clip off. Pull the stabilizer off. Come in over here in the back. Pull that off. Washer. A little bit of upward pressure on the deck, and there she goes. Now, that's free from the tractor. Now we just pull the deck out. We'll pull it out this way. Steering wheel. Found a washer here, so we'll keep that. So there you have it. This is what a 54-inch deck looks like. Here's a quick tip. It's always a good idea to try to limit the amount of debris that's on your deck. It's not that the debris, adds a lot of weight to the tractor. It's not that. It's just that this stuff holds moisture. What it can do is that if it's allowed to build up like this, it can interfere with the belt. It can cause all this area here to heat up, just because you're not getting any proper airflow, because you have all this material built up. So that's why it's a good idea to keep these areas clean. So I'm just going to quickly clean this up. And the reason why I want to do this is I just want to show you the underside of the deck to demonstrate, what the underside of the deck looks like. ahead and I'll clean up that deck a lot better with some hot soapy water, and I'll clean all that up, make sure all the leftover grass is removed. But I'll do that off camera because I don't think you want to see that. But what I do want to show you is what it looks like underneath. Oh, the axle, it's heavy. All right. I guess I would say at first glance, it doesn't look too bad at all. Something that I notice here is that there's these rubberized strips that are attached to this metal rail that are bolted to the underside or the leading edge of the deck. I guess that is part of the mulching kit. And that was a good save. And then over here on this side, there's a plate that's been installed right here, and I guess that prevents the grass from exiting. Instead, it just keeps it inside, and it just chops it up. But on a positive note, the blades look like they're in really good condition. Well, they're in good condition. So we'll set this back down. Okay, watch out. I'm going to set this back down. I'm on the wrong side. Careful. All right. Maybe what I'll do is I'll take the deck and I'll move it over to here because we want to work at removing the engine. Actually, here's another solution. Move this back, and then we'll do this. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do now is use our floor jack, and I'll raise the front of the tractor just to make it easier for us to get access to the underneath. But before I do that, I'll engage the hydrostatic. This is the lever over here. So I had this lever pulled out in order to move the tractor forward and backwards. So I'll push it in, and what that does is that locks it in place, but I'll also engage the parking brake. So it keeps it somewhat locked in from rolling backwards. Okay, so now I have my jack positioned up here at the front. Okay, and then we will go up. There we go. The other thing that we'll have to deal with in order to free the motor up is probably the muffler as well. So we may have to remove this guard. So let me grab some tools and we'll get started. Up comes the guard. Notice we have the working table back again, like it's all accessible. Most of the 88 Mustang parts have been reinstalled, so we now have some real estate again to work with. All right, what do we do next here? It's possible that this muffler these pipes just slide into the muffler. So maybe we will leave this as is, for now, because I have a feeling that these pipes they just basically situate themselves inside the muffler, and we don't actually have to take the muffler off per se. All right, but at least we got the guard off. Now we have to go underneath the tractor. So because we've got to do that, we're going to need to remove the bottom pulley. So I'll get my impact and my 1/2 inch impact sockets. Okay, so here we are underneath the tractor, and what we're going to do next is we're going to remove the electric PTO. This is the device that engages and disengages the belt that runs the cutting deck. All you have to do is what we need to do is remove this bolt. So here's my socket. Okay, and I will just use my impact, and we'll remove this. And as you see, because this unit is fairly new, everything is just sliding off nice and easy. So what I'm going to do is I want to be careful that I don't damage anything. So let's see if there's a connector up here. Aha, there is. So here's the underside of the electric power takeoff. I'm just going to gently lift up on this tab and then pull out. Okay, so here's the electric PTO with the bolt that screws into the end of the engine crankshaft. So I'll put that down there for now. Let's go back down underneath. So here's that cable that actuates the PTO. So we'll just put it in a place where it won't get damaged. So I'll just put that there for now. The other pulley is this one right here. This is the drive pulley. Okay, so I don't know if you saw that, but this was installed here like this on the crankshaft, and this pulley drives this belt, which drives the drive that engages the mechanical transmission, or the transmission for the tractor via this belt. Okay, so now that's off, and I'll just put that over here where the PTO was. Okay, next thing we now need to remove the 4 bolts that hold the motor to the frame, and they are situated right here. So I believe that is a 16 millimeter. Yes. So let me go get an extension, and we'll be right back, and we'll take those off. We're on reverse, so we'll come up here. I'll grab the first one. Too tight. Let me go get a ratchet. I thought my 3-inch extension was going to be enough too. So let me just I'm just going to crack these bolts, and then I'll finish them off with the impact to remove them. Okay. So these ones are easy to access. So there's 1, 2, and then there's another. Here's a third one right here. Okay, and then there's a 4th right here. So 4 bolts. 4 bolts hold this motor in place. So I'll start by taking the 2 rearward bolts off completely. Okay, so just for reference. Okay, so for reference, that's the size of the bolts right here, like that. Okay, grab the other one. Off it goes. Make sure we don't lose them. There's the other. Number 2, number 3. And number 4. Okay, let's go back up. All right, so we're back on top. Now we should be able to just lift the motor right out of the chassis. But first, let's just lower the tractor. Let me pick up my tools so I'm not walking on them. We'll pick up these parts, put them on the table, and then pull out that tool and then lower it down. All right, now I'm just going to grab the engine from the front like so. Okay, just going to do a jiggle here. Yep. There we go. And then we bring it over. So I've set it up on the table here on 2 4x4 blocks. Here's a good tip. When you take a motor off and you want to work on it, because the crankshaft protrudes down, that's the crankshaft right there. That's what drives the pulleys that energize or power the cutting blades and powers the transmission. You know, you want to set things up where you can work on it. So I find that if you just use 2 pieces of 4x4 blocks like this is standard size. It's not like I cut these down. These are just 4x4s. It just creates a nice, safe place to work on this. So there you have it. Easy peasy. The engine's removed, and now we have access to the top of the chassis of the tractor. So I think that's going to be the end for this episode. I just wanted to introduce the new build and give a perspective of what it takes to remove the engine from a D170 series tractor. Stay tuned for the next one when we investigate maybe the blown motor a little bit more in detail, or maybe I will just go ahead and put in an order for a brand new motor, and then we'll just install the new motor on the tractor, and then we'll just go with that. So hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned to the next one, and see you the next time.